stated, we'll be disputing NASA's budget. Brandon and I want the budget to stay the same, while our opponents want the budget to double. My opponent just stated innovation and economy, but what he failed to state was the cost of these projects. Now, regarding the economy, we all know that the country is going through a recession and has politicians and taxpayers scratching their head looking for a solution. Now let's look at NASA's latest project, Curiosity. Curiosity is a one-ton mobile laboratory designed to collect and analyze samples of Mars crust as it scales the side of a 3-mile high mountain that cost a whopping $2.5 billion. According to the Los Angeles Times, even NASA supporters believe that the government has to start tightening its belt, and that giving the agency more money means giving some other programs less. Programs like climate research and earth science will suffer from cuts. It's worth noting that the administration proposed to keep NASA's overall budget at about the same level in the coming year as it was in fiscal 2012. But the agency has been plagued by cost overruns inside and out of the Mars program. The Curiosity project is expected to cost 50% more than initially estimated. It's being forced by Congress to fund projects of uncertain value, such as a massive new rocket that has yet to be assigned a specific destination. Now, complicating matters. NASA's plan for manned space flight have been in flux over the past decades. As the Bush and Obama administration phased out the space shuttle program and struggled to decide what to do next, the current goal is to put an astronaut on asteroid by 2025 and on Mars the following decade. That shift in thinking contributed to the breaking pose in the robotic missions to Mars. NASA recently convened a panel of in-house experts to help decide what the Mars program should do next. And one of his assignments is to see how those missions might also serve the goals of manned spaceflight. So we can see that NASA is undecisive on these projects. So they don't even know where this money is heading towards to, but yet they're insisting on a budget increase. Another problem with the money request is that some projects are being overpriced. For example, a 7-ton spacecraft, one of the most ambitious and costly science projects in U.S. history, is under construction for NASA at Northrop Grumman Corporation. Now, according to Kimberly Amadeo, NASA would also support the new James Webb Space Telescope planned to launch in 2018. It will replace the Hubble telescope. The aim is to capture the oldest light, taking cosmologists to the time after the Big Bang, when matter had cooled just enough to start forming the first blazing stars in what had been empty darkness. But for all this sophistication, the project also reveals a deeply ingrained dysfunction in NASA's business practices, critics say. According to Ralph Bardadian from the Los Angeles Times, the James Webb Space Telescope cost has soared to $8.8 billion, more than 4 times the original aerospace industry estimates. A rise that nearly led Congress to kill the program last year. Now we ask, should the space program be a priority in a budget crisis? According to Jack Cafferty from CNN, President Obama signed a $3 billion provision for NASA to build a rocket and space capsule. That's $3 billion for a spaceship. Great. While lawmakers fought for 6 months over nickels and dimes for programs such as Corporation for Public Broadcasting, Planned Parenthood, and Pell Grants for college tuition, billions have been assigned for a space rocket. So much for all that big talk about cutting spending. Just let me go into, I understand space is great, it's an interesting field, but like I said earlier, it costs a lot of money. billions in dollars just to be exact. Therefore, we cannot allow NASA to double its budget. During a crippling economy that cannot get back on its feet, we cannot allow NASA to keep asking for money we don't have. Let's look at another NASA's proposed project, a moon rocket. The idea is to return to the moon. According to Mark Matthews from the Los Angeles Times, he states that in 2010, Congress and the White House came to an agreement that requires NASA to rely on existing shuttle parts and remnants of the now useless Constellation Moon program, which, by the way, cost taxpayers $13.1 billion through April without producing a flyable rocket or capsule. That being said, this moon rocket could cost up to $38 billion, but would just fly twice during the next 10 years without a lunar landing. Now, to emphasize curiosity again, this one-ton vehicle that costs $2.5 billion, now tell me, what is the purpose of this vehicle to begin with? Yes, the rover sends back images to Earth of Mars' surface, but what good does this rover provide us with here on Earth other than cool computer wallpapers? All this money that NASA is spending can be used more wisely: schools, poverty, and hunger.
NASA's current budget for 2012 is projected to be $17.77